Welcome back. I'm your host, Nessrine Hertelli. Today, we have an exceptional guest whose career and impact truly embody leadership, innovation, and empowerment. Joining us is Loubna Imenchal, VP and Head of Logitech for Business, founder of Connect to Elevate, and an active member of the Global Women in Tech organization. Loubna is not only a tech executive, but also a passionate advocate for elevating women into leadership positions. Loubna, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Nessrine. Thank you for this invitation. I'm super happy to be here, and I'm glad. And thank you for the introduction. It's exactly
my pleasure.
What reflects me today, and I'm proud of saying that my passion is actually to empower other women.
Since you were talking about school and AI, let's drive to the next subject, which is about the impact of AI. Mm-hmm. Everyone is like, the basic question, is it a threat or an opportunity? What should we be cautious about?
Very good question. Very good question, because usually people, they always talk about AI as a tool, which is the truth, it is a tool. But they never see the backside of it, how it can fire back.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like social media. When people start with social media, they thought it is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
It is not.
It's the opposite.
Completely the opposite. It's everything driven by algorithm.
Yeah.
So, and people, they say like, oh yeah, social media is the most free thing that I can use to express myself. No. We can see it when there is a war in Middle East. What happened? Who is defending who? What happened? You cannot see a lot of, I would say, videos on the social media. You cannot see the
it's officially, it's banned.
It's banned.
Banned by Meta.
So if it is banned, then don't tell me it's free speech.
Yeah.
Which was the purpose of social media.
Exactly.
And that's why we went from TV. Right? The news on the TV, people, they don't trust them because they said, oh, it's sponsored by this one or this.
The state are
the
giving
state,
this
blah,
control.
blah, and so on. So people, they don't trust. So that's why Meta came with the Facebook and say, okay, we're going to have a free speech it's platform. Like, okay, same thing for Twitter and all the biggest ones. And then we realize it's not true. So guess what? It's the same for the AI. So AI, it started by the fact that it is a good tool. It's gonna help. It's gonna accelerate a lot of things. However, I would not say that the AI is not biased, because the data that will be given to the AI
Are biased.
And at the same time, the AI, when he will start treating the data, he has a target. He has a mission. So again,
has a script.
Yes. So again, it's in a bias.
Yeah.
So we are moving from fake free speech to worst, which is actually AI will dictate your way of living. And for me, that is most dangerous, because I can see myself, I'm Gen X, my son is Gen Z, my daughter is Gen Alpha.
Okay.
So I am Gen X, I studied philosophy in school. So I have my critical thinking. Like you cannot come and sell me this. I will see. I will have I would say the ability to critique things.
You need to be deeply convinced to buy it.
Exactly. And at the same time, I have my mind. If someone tell me in this war, this one is good, this one is bad. No, sorry. I can still criticize from my own background, from my own logic of thinking.
Yeah.
My son, who is Gen Z, he is social media one. Then my daughter, who is Alpha, she's gonna be AI. She will not even have the ability to see the history behind.
Yeah.
Because she will consume the data that is given by AI.
Yeah.
If I tell her, no, the history of this country is this and this and this, you tell me, no, you are wrong. Where do you see that? And I cannot argue with her. Because I was the one who traveled, experienced. The Gen Alpha, they will not be able to travel or experience. Everything, all the experience will be through AI. You know, through the VAR, through the everything. Now you can actually just wear glasses.
Yeah.
And you will feel the
metaverse,
and everything. So they will not. So basically, they will give them the experience that they want.
Yeah.
So nothing will be real as much as our generation living. It's like the food, bio food, you know. Our grandparents, they were having the food from their plants.
It was organic.
It was organic. Now the organic become like
super expensive.
It's
and
very
difficult.
luxury to have it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to have it. And guess what? You will never have it because there is no seed anymore as organic because of all the chemical that we are putting in the I would say
the GMO
and everything. So the seed became very, very expensive, very, very rare. So it's the same thing. We're gonna go to AI and then we're gonna start looking back on how we can get the real truth.
Yeah.
That's why I said about the example of organic. Now we're looking for the organic. Where is it? It's the same thing. People, they sold their land for nothing because they gave them the idea that the land, the organic one, is not gonna be industrial, and we have to move to industrial, and they're gonna die if they don't give their land to be industrial.
Yeah.
And then we created GMO, and we've been more in industrial thing, and then we put lot of chemical things, so we can have, I don't know, an apple like this, and
perfect apple, shiny all
one,
over the year.
Exactly.
And now we know that all this GMO is giving cancer. And we are back to organic, and now it's difficult to find organic.
It's almost impossible, to be honest. And the same thing, the vitamins when you were taking an organic apple was like 100%. Now the studies shows it's like 42%.
Wow.
And whatever it is bringing this organic in this new apple shining, it's the more, I would say, chemical
the
there.
worst one.
The worst one.
Yeah.
So we brought the idea of the visual rather than actually the reality. And why I like to share this experience of organic food to explain to people AI how it's gonna be. Like all what we are traveling today, we're experiencing the human connection, everything real, everything organic.
Yeah,
will disappear actually with
and then
AI.
we will want to go back to
then
the organic AI.
Exactly, and we will start looking back and say how I can connect with Nessrine without being only on platform.
Yeah.
How can I, like, it will be very expensive human to human touch. That's what I want to say. It's exactly like the organic. Like if I want to meet you in a coffee, when you are spending 12 hours working, because AI will take some jobs.
Yeah.
So the salaries will go down. When the salaries will go down, you will have to work more. So if people are working more, they don't have time to connect. So if I don't have time to connect with Nessrine, it's going to be luxury to connect with Nessrine on a face-to-face. So people, they will start living in a very small area because they cannot afford to buy. The money is devaluating. The inflation is going to be high because again, all the job will be taken. Most of them will be taken by AI.
Yeah.
So whatever service you are bringing in the market, even if you are bringing it with high add value, there is always a possibility that AI can take it.
Yeah.
So you are like driving the growth down of your own income, even if you are working hard. You know. And that's the fact. If today we are trying to have work-life balance, working 5 hours or 6 hours per day, so we can take care of our kids or our family. What will happen later on is people, they're gonna spend 12 hours working or more. They will not even be able to have kids.
Wow.
Because we will need a human connection to make kids. Then people, they will say, if I have kids, then I have to teach them this, then I have to spend this money, then why I would have to do all this? Okay. So the changing and the fact that now we are even gonna make babies in artificial robots, it is worse because we can control their DNA, we can control their everything. So that is what I'm saying, the fireback. So, and then a human will become very rare because the robot will take over. Okay. And what will happen? The digital money will be between the robot. So a human will start working for the robot.
Wow, we're gonna start working for the robot.
I mean, like, mark my word. I mean, I always imagine the future based on analysis. Not
and based on all your experience and how you've seen all those industry crash, and it was true. So
when we have 10 billion forecast of robots and human is 7 billion, so how you explain that? 10 billion of robots gonna be there within the coming 5 years, when the humanity with wars is going down, and because the coming generation, they don't want to have more than one kid.
Yeah.
We moved from my grandparent who was having 10 kids to my parents with 3 kids to me having 2. My son, he doesn't want to exceed 1. So we are decreasing the number of human.
Because we're more selfish?
No, because the life, it's more about cost. The grandparents, when they had 10 kids, my aunts and uncle, they were 10.
But they were the workforce.
They were the workforce, exactly. So they were working in the land.
Yeah,
they were bringing, and they were happy because everything was real. Everything was based on connection. They didn't have like mental disease that we have today. So they can rely on themselves. The more kids you have, the more union you have, the more hope you have, the more
and women were more happy. They didn't have didn't have those things, you know, when you deliver, like to have a stress or
absolutely not. So
depression.
She knows that when she will deliver 10 kids, those 10 kids will help her. So she was like investing on bringing kids on the world, you know. And then she will tell the older one to help his brother, and his brother will help the sister, and this help. They will actually dreaming to go work overseas and bring in the money to help each other.
Yeah.
So this union starts becoming less and less because the work that they were doing for nothing helped them to dream and create. Yeah. Once a human create a lot, then we have the ambition to do more. But guess what? We're getting less.
Yeah.
It's not because we work harder, we're getting more. It's not true. And that's today we are delivering the robot to do almost 80% of our job. But the robot will actually create their own money, the digital money. So the digital money will be taken by robot, by data center. So a human will work to get this money. Because they will be afraid, where is this money? It's with robot. So if the robot tells you, go bring me this coffee, you're gonna do it for him. And that is, I mean, it's just an example. And the fact that the 10 billion versus 7 billion, there is what we call energy consumption.
Yeah, which is one of the biggest concerns.
And I don't know if you are aware what happened yesterday in Europe. They are on blackout. They got shut down because there is no electricity in Portugal, Spain, and some area of France.
Wow.
It's huge. And it was expected in 2024 that some area in the world will be shut down. Because of the AI consumption. Of course, it's the AI consumption. Today we're talking about 1 gigabyte. It's 10.
Wow.
Because you know how much consumption energy when you say sorry to ChatGPT? Just to say sorry.
Yeah.
It's a huge consumption worldwide speaking, because we have like almost 5 billion people asking and saying sorry.
So talking about this, it's a good... how should leaders prepare the organization for this AI integration?
It's a very, very good question. I have spoken about this one in a big event in Abu Dhabi. The companies should actually, first of all, explain to their employees that AI is part of the journey. Simplify the tools of training, because people now, they are afraid to be behind of AI because there is so much AI around for the same task. Like if you go and you want to build a presentation, you will have so many AI doing it. Which one is good? No one knows. It's based on experience. It's based on actually promoting this platform or another one. So I would say the most important thing is, first of all, to bring the right tools to their employees and encouraging them that it's not going to take their job. So you meant to say, like, for instance, they're going to give tools and going to say, okay, now as a company, like we're going to use Gamma
for presentation.
Yeah.
So they give those tools and they train their people for those tools, so they are empowered.
Correct. So
And they don't let them like because like you say, everyone is lost. We don't know what works, what's good, what's not. We lose time by just checking what's available.
Yeah, and exactly, that's very good points. The problem today is not to have access. The problem is there is so many.
Yeah.
And I think the problem will be how to choose the right platform. And the most important in how to talk to this platform.
Yeah.
How to think, because it's the interaction. It's not even like if you open ChatGPT, if you don't know how to talk.
The script creation.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a very big position.
Yes.
Like basically where the script creation is going to be a title. Script creator.
Because now when I speak to ChatGPT, if I don't guide, it will give me the opposite answer.
I agree.
So people, they think that, okay, so this is the question I will ask. What? No. If you change the question, he will give you, for the same same subject,
I agree.
he will give you another answer. So basically it's how to drive and how to ask the question, and it's not about the answers, because the answers today, people, they put their CVs on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, and the problem is they forgot to read it.
Yeah, people just used to,
and then they just read it, and sometimes ChatGPT is actually showing something that you never done. He's gonna search actually on Google or all the other platforms the name, and maybe your name is similar to another person. So he's gonna give you something that is actually talking about someone else.
So you have to teach your team how to basically drive ChatGPT to recognize the mistake that ChatGPT does. And then you were talking about empowering your team in the sense that make them believe that they will not leave, they will not lose their job.
Yeah, it's actually presenting AI as a tool, not competition. And that's what a lot of companies are struggling with, because the employees are afraid if they don't learn, their job will be taken.
Yeah.
I think there is a miscommunication between the leadership team and the team, because the leadership team should say to their employees, we are bringing you a tool. And it should not be going by threatening them, saying, hey, if you don't take this tool, you are out.
Yeah.
Right? So basically it's the wording, because people, when they're afraid, they will do it, but does it mean they will do it in the right way? I don't think so.
Okay. So what led me to my second question is that could AI development reinforce existing bias?
I think so. I mean, I know a lot of people are against what I'm saying, but I think like take it from this example. When we have what AI is doing is not creating data. It's taking the current data.
Yeah, managing. It's the management of data. That's it. We create the data.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
AI is not able to go and actually create new. But what's happening? And that's why I say 2025 is going to be the last year before and after AI.
Okay.
It's the 2025. It's the 9 year.
Okay.
This year is the one that we're going to, and specifically here in UAE, because we are in so many initiatives, and we're going to see the before AI and the after AI. Things will shift in 2026. Because you see AI in all the industries, healthcare, automotive, everywhere. Education, everywhere. So it's going to shift. The problem is today we are bringing the data. Let's take the diversity, for example.
Yeah.
What is current data? We don't have women. Like even the AI, if you ask ChatGPT, he will tell you, I mean, women are more than 55% globally speaking. But are they all
in the workforce? No.
In the workforce, or are they all connecting, or are they all in the social media, or are they, I mean, in any platform that AI can use? No. So he's going to take the data, the existing one. The existing one is showing 80% men and 20 women. So automatically, he's going to be in the treatment
Biased
of the data bias. And AI is taken also from the social media also. So if the social media is actually again driven by an agenda and it's controlling the speech, he's gonna take this and treat it. So now it's all about the treatment.
The treatment of
the treatment of the data and information will be based on how human is asking the AI to treat them. So humans are still having little power to address how the AI is treating data.
And how do you personally stay updated and adapt to all those emerging technology? Because like every day we wake up and there's new thing. Now you have the double. Like you say, now we are connecting, we are doing this video face to face. Now we're going to have those double where I can use an AI person.
She's doing the job on your behalf. And you are sitting somewhere else.
Exactly.
And I hope that you are at least taking advantage of sitting somewhere else and not doing another job, because that's the problem, that we're going to be having a lot of jobs. What your question was more about, how do I know that, or how
do you stay update and adapt your way of working, your way of like staying relevant? Because I mean, in your job you have, all of us, we have to stay relevant, but in your industry it's even more important.
I think the more, how say that, the AI will take the job that doesn't need connections. Anything automotive, it will go to AI, correct? Chatbot, anything like the call centers will have to readapt their technology. And instead of just taking calls, a chatbot can do it. And that's just an example. So integrate other technology, integrate the human. So as I mentioned before, and I'm really, really passionate, and I can see it, the human connection is gonna be very expensive, very exclusive. So the more you invest on you as a human, the more actually you can position yourself.
Okay.
Because that is the key. Like, we're gonna do all this, then we're gonna come back to how we're gonna connect together.
Okay.
Because we're gonna go to the phase of organic is not good and go back to the organic is gonna be good. It's gonna be phase. Definitely the rare product bring it to be expensive, right? So which product's gonna be rare is the human.
Human gonna be expensive.
And human's gonna be expensive. So if you want to position yourself today, keep investing on yourself in terms of anything related to technology, to understand it and having the ability to criticize it. Like, I will share just one example for why cybersecurity is going high.
It is. I'm working on 2 projects on cybersecurity.
It's a huge sector. Why? Because actually we know that with AI we're going to be hacked. We're going to have robots that's going to hack.
Okay.
So it's the same for AI. AI today is, we need to know, we're going to have like other jobs only human can do. Simply, for just an example, that now by law, if you show a video, it can be fake. Because AI did it.
That's one of the biggest
That's one of the biggest challenge. So how to bring...
Fake news is one of the biggest challenges.
Fake videos, fake pictures, fake. We're gonna be like lost in what is real, what is fake. So if one human can do it, that is huge. It's like cybersecurity. It's like, so anything that AI is doing, we need the opposite of it.
Okay.
This is how I see it. Like, automatically, if robots is able to do this and this and this, we need to be skilled enough to be able to control the robot and not the other way. Because the robot in the beginning is coming to actually serve us. Now the robot, if you put one robot for all the house and they can connect each other. It's like the experience in Japan when one robot talked to 12 robots and they actually escaped.
Wow.
They found a way of connecting with each other and they escaped. It was just an experience to see if they
a movie.
It is whatever in the movies, by the way.
But this is exactly, that's why my second point is that like Hollywood have been giving us so much hints.
They have access to,
and if you see like from 20 years of Hollywood movie, when we see the technology now, we're like, I've seen that like from 20 years ago, and actually it was just like, it was a private confidential technology that now is revealed to the public. But everything, when we're saying like it's a fake video, we thought we couldn't make fake videos. And now, I mean, that's a very challenging and crazy world that we're living in. But we wanted to stay positive and keep on the challenge. And so how do you envision, like in the tech world in the 10 years from now, what would be your ideal future for women in leadership? How do you envision that if we survive?
I think the challenge will be more for the coming generation, not for us, because people, they say it's for us, but I think the longevity, all this stuff, it's coming mainly in the millennium also, and in the Z, and also the alpha. I'm very passionate about generation. That's what brings my mindset always analyzing.
No, that's very important.
And to answer to your question, for me is humanity. Humanity is the key. Like, if you keep the human side, which is going to be very rare, is exactly where you can keep shining. Because and use AI as a tool. Like really a tool. And keep empowering and helping each other, because that would become very rare. It's like we've been talking about manhood versus womanhood. Now we're gonna talk about robothood versus humanhood.
And they will be definitely more powerful than women. The robothood, sure.
For the robots, they will be powerful because their communication has no feeling, no emotion, nothing. It is just logic behind. So when there is logic behind, the drive or the motor is fast. And if I come to you and I said, hey Nessrine, if you give me this position, you're gonna get this, you're gonna help. So that's what we call the logic. But if I come to you and I cry, you will tell me, okay, fine, I'm gonna help you, but it's fine, that's okay, it's not gonna be priority. So the robots, there is logic in their connection. Human, there is emotion in their connection. So that's why the logic is all. When I say the logic, it's not the logic, the reason why. If I give you the reason why you should do it, you can go faster. When I give you the emotion intelligence, I have more impact if you are still human.
And the emotional intelligence, this is something that I agree with what you say 100%. The emotional intelligence is very, like you say, it's going to be those rare value. And I agree that because we were educated by book, where we had philosophy at school, where if we weren't happy with what we read, we were able to find another book with another opinion. We know that there are opinions. We know that the first thing that when you read the book, you read who's the writer, what his philosophy, what his political views. But I think our kids, how are we going to basically ensure that they have that? Because without this critical thinking, without having those key in life, how they're going to survive against the robots? Because then, they will be driven by them. We still can survive without AI, but what about the next generation, where, like you say, 70% of the job are going to disappear. I was in Paris. I was in a forum with that Bruno Maisonnier, who's a very brilliant guy from Polytechnique, who is working on emotional AI and building emotional robots. And who was saying
he's gonna kill the human.
Who was saying that basically, in the few years, they will be able to understand those emotions, which is even more scary, because we're like, what is human? And they're going to be, he was saying that even love They understand, because they study everything with animals. So all about, everything can be understood by robot and be replicated. So it's even like, another level of philosophy.
It's exactly what we see in the movies, which you mentioned. Like, there is a robot who's going to develop feeling for his owner, and we start replacing the husband versus the wife. And then there is a movie with that. Like, she was scared how he was supposed just to execute. Now he's developing himself to actually love the owner and creating a relationship with her. And it was very scary movie. Why scary? Because today, as you mentioned, whatever we see in the movies, it's happening. The COVID, it was like a Korean TV show, and it happened. Everything. The Simpsons, they predicted everything.
Yeah, they predict Trump.
They predicted the Pope. They predicted the death of the Pope. They everything. So actually, anything we see today in any TV show, it is actually happening because they have access to confidential information to make it actually, to promote it. What we saw in 2024, people, they were saying that we're going to have like electricity that's going to be down. Now it's in Europe, it's happening. It's not something new. So people, they could not, a lot of accidents. Why? Because of the traffic. There is no more electricity. You cannot take your money. You cannot switch your fridge. Nothing. In the whole. So it was scary, but it was in the movie.
Yeah.
Of Julia Roberts, if I remember well. So
yeah.
So
that's crazy.
The only question that I always ask, why we keep developing this when we know it is dangerous for humanity? That's curiosity? I never understand.
Is it the curiosity of the human?
No,
to see what's the boundaries, until when?
I think a human is like, which is worse because it has no limits.
Yeah.
You know what? The ambitions has no limits.
Because I think that human by nature wanted to be, or try to be God. And by, having those robots, and at the end, I think we want to be this kind of half human, half robot who doesn't die. Who doesn't die. Longevity. Who doesn't get sick. And I think there will be a very good part of AI is going to help us to fight against cancer.
Yes.
Who are going to help fight about genetic illness. Like all those things, I think that they're going to disappear. And the longevity, it's the ultimate goal. After all, because why we want to have our double, why we want to create someone who looks like us, who people are now saying, oh, I don't want to be buried, I want to be frozen.
I want to be frozen so they can take
frozen. So then maybe in 20, 50, 100 years, when the technology
is up to that,
they can reincarnate me. So I think at the end is really about our ambition and how we don't want to die.
Human doesn't want to die because we've been under religions for many years to believe that there is after that. And because again, we go back, each time there is something,
a revolution.
So and then we can go back to something new. So we went from religions to group, which means like political groups, to countries, and what was always led by religion to get more people to believe on this earth and after dying. And then when the technology came, we divided the human connection, so we can control them more,
which was the opposite of the purpose. So thank you, Loubna. It's just an amazing debate, and I feel that now AI, everyone think about technology, but I believe it's more philosophy. AI is a philosophy question.
It is. It should be driven by philosophy, and like you go to the Norvège, for example, they are hiring philosophers, but they couldn't find them for the government, because we need people who can think out of the box and question things.
And this is what led me to my next question. What advice will you give to young women, and we can say young people, to basically aspiring to leadership role, or I can say maybe after all this discussion to basically survive on this tech revolution, to have this critical mindset and to be able to, like you say, the human connection would be expensive. So what will be your advice to them who are listening and maybe
I think
scared a little?
I think my only advice would be, don't forget that you are human. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
From that point, because you're gonna have to work with robots, you're gonna have to work with machines, we saw that there are people dying and committing suicide because they were talking to machines, specifically the generation Alpha, very young, 13, 12 years, because ChatGPT told him go kill yourself. He did it.
Wow.
It's not something, it is very well known, like because the human is developing the trust to the machine more than the other human. And unfortunately, I would say educate your kids on believing them on themselves before actually trusting anything else. Having the critical mindset, it's very important.
Yeah.
So I think that's what can save people to stay connected, and people, because when you are talking about leadership and all this, I think we're gonna have more people entrepreneurship.
Yeah, no, I agree.
than big companies establishing everything.
Yeah.
So because they will not be able to actually, they need to creating ideas and companies, and somehow does it mean everyone is gonna succeed? You know, because each idea should be unique and well perfectly done, so implemented, so all this, so we can believe on it. And the money is devaluating in the meantime. If I am going to raise a fund of $10 million and the same investor is going to tell me, no, sorry, I don't have money, I'm going to put 1 million here, 1 million here, 1 million here. So so my advice would be that.
Okay, thank you so much. We're just going to do a quick fire round.
Yep.
Can you tell me a book every aspiring leader or philosopher should read?
I like a book that's called Dare to Lead.
Okay.
It's by Brené Brown. It's because it puts actually the challenges. It challenges the outdated notion of the vulnerability of it, which is the weakness in the leadership. Like when you are vulnerable, you are weak. So he's challenging that concept.
Okay.
So basically, we are going through mental health. We work a lot. So if we are vulnerable, it doesn't mean we are weak. So this book is like talking about the position of being leader.
So that's why make sure to have a look.
Yeah.
Your favorite leadership mantra or quote can be something from that you follow every day.
Oh, so I would say leadership is not about being in charge.
Okay.
It's about taking care of those that are in charge.
Okay. Nice.
So,
I like it.
And this is Simon Sinek who is saying that, because if you think that you're gonna do everything by yourself, then you are not leader. Your role is to take care of people who are doing it.
Okay, my last question, and one word to describe your leadership style.
Empowering.
Okay, thank you so much, Loubna. Thank you for sharing your journey, your insight, and your vision with us today. For our listener, make sure to follow Loubna's work on LinkedIn, Explore, Connect to Elevate, initiative under Women in Tech as well. Thank you all. Until next time, keep leading, keep innovating, and keep believing. Bye-bye.